Welcome everybody to Capes and Scowls, and we're going to do something, it's a mix of a discussion and a review that somebody had commented on. They wanted us to talk about Champions. This came out last week, and
That's
there you
go.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. I'm Tim.
I'm Leander.
Shuster.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the book, but we're also going to, after that, talk about post-Secret Wars Marvel. We're going to talk about some of the characters we feel maybe they've dropped the ball with, they haven't really done anything with, and some of the characters we think they did. So, Shuster, you haven't read this, but we're going to go through it with you. You can take...
I'm going to be the odd man out in this video.
As usual.
Yes.
So, Champions. Can you bring it over here, maybe cover this area?
Just
There
don't even... There we go. That's what the audience wants to see, or lack thereof.
You didn't read this, you didn't buy this. Did you want to read this before?
I didn't even know this existed.
I'm not talking to you. Leander. I gotta use names now. There's 3 people I'm not used to. Leander.
Yes.
Did you buy this with the intent to read it? I only bought this because it was requested. Did you buy this to read this on your own?
I bought this for the podcast.
Okay. Now that being said, we looked at this, we said, okay, this is a thing. Not for us, but
you yelled at us to read it. This is mandatory. This is mandatory review.
Nothing was cap locked on.
Capes and Scowls mandatory review number 1.
Yes.
So that being said, what did you think of the book?
I loved it.
Yeah, I actually really liked it too. Now I do the reviews with Paul from Ashen Phoenix, which is at Team Ashen. And they're on YouTube. You can check them out. And I do weekly reviews with them, like I said. He hated the book. And a lot of people who go into the comic book store, 30 North Main Street, Glassboro, New Jersey, liked it. So I said, all right, I have to read it. I have to know. And I actually thought it was pretty good. Like I said, I wasn't invested in these characters. I didn't care. Out of these characters, and I hate... Can we just say...
You used to.
He loves this character.
I hate the Totally Awesome Hulk. I think it's the ultimate dropped ball, and we'll get to that at the end of this. But Miss Marvel, I think, is one of the greatest things they've done in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not big on the kid version of Nova because I like the old version of Nova.
Mm-hmm.
Miles is great. This version of Cyclops, I don't even know anything really about. He's barely in the book.
Yeah.
It's kind of strange.
Yeah.
And I don't know a ton about Viv, because I am waiting to binge it. I know the Vision is good.
My God.
I know Tom King is good.
Why haven't you read it yet?
I'm going to binge it. Only one trade is out. I'm going to buy both trades back to back. Because I bought Omega Men in trade, and that was amazing. All those issues in a row was so good.
Yeah.
I think if I was reading the Vision month to month, I'd be like you, losing my mind. Like, how does this end? I need to know. And Marvel's not really supporting the Vision, if you'll notice, anymore, because Tom King is DC exclusive now. He's writing Batman. He did Omega Men. He's doing Sheriff of Babylon at is that Image or Vertigo? Doesn't matter. Really doesn't. So, yeah. I thought this book was really good. The basic idea is the younger members of the Avengers, kind of... Nova and Miles had already left the Avengers, kind of with the events of Civil War. They're like, this isn't for us. This isn't what I signed up for. We want to help people. We want to matter. We want to save lives. We don't want to fight other heroes. We're not about it. Miss Marvel, at the beginning of this issue, agrees with them, finally. She's like, I've had enough as well. And she walks away and she says, why don't we just do our own thing? Through the events of the book, they team up again with Totally Awesome Hulk. Cringeworthy just to say it. Cyclops, nowhere in the book. If you've read other reviews of this, people are claiming this is what's going to make you love Cyclops, this book. He's not in this book at all.
Like, not at all.
There's, like, one panel of him, like, oh, okay. Like, at the end, he's like, oh, hey, champions. That's the thing.
Right.
And Viv is okay. She comes in towards the end of the book.
I mean,
there's not a lot of setup for her in this.
Well, there's a whole series. So, there's a
I'm
lot of
not
setup
that
you haven't read. So, actually, her interest was amazing if you actually were invested in the Visions as you should be.
Well, hey, that's good for them to know. All right? He's coming at it, no knowledge. I'm coming at it, some knowledge, based mostly just off this issue, and you have all the knowledge. It is kind of a good thing. So, I thought the book was pretty good. I mean, if I was to grade it on a 1 to 10 scale, 10 being the highest, I would give it at least an 8. I thought it was fine.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a pretty solid
Well,
review.
it doesn't do anything wrong. I
Right.
am a fan of Wade. I always liked Mark Wade. Almost to the point of fanboy, but, he has written some clunkers, especially lately, I feel. But this book is back on point. It doesn't insult you, even with the totally awesome Hulk. He doesn't offend me like he does in his own book. And everybody asks me, "Oh, do you like him now that you read him in this?" No, I still don't like. I'm still not on board.
Not
but
yet.
if they can get me there, awesome. But this is
Totally awesome.
Totally
awesome. Oh,
Totally.
jeez.
What would you say of this book if you gave it a number grade?
It would also be 8. It would
About
be
an
8. Yeah.
That's a pretty solid review.
And you know what it is? It's a revolution for the Avengers or the Champions now. This idea that they have as to why they're forming and why they're working towards what they're trying to work for. They're actually more hardworking than the actual Avengers. The way that they're trying to portray themselves, they are better heroes than the Avengers currently.
Would you say it was? I don't know. Did any of you read the Avengers title?
No.
I was going to see if it's a better title than the Avengers, because it's a very similar book. It sounds like.
I mean, it is the same writer currently as well.
Oh,
which
okay.
that might help with the two stories syncing up.
Okay.
There's no issues with that, but
I think also, so they'll quickly, once you start reading it, from the very beginning to the very end, it's very personal. It's very touching, and you totally get why this is probably going to be one of the best teams ever. You totally start to feel why this is going to be the number one hero group of Marvel Universe for a while.
it could be.
That's
There's no
the
reason.
feel. There's a feel of that because of the way that they set it up. Also, the first adventure they had, perfect. Nailed it. It is exactly the type of first adventure that these guys needed to make everyone just love them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a human kind of story. It was, a kind of a relevant topic. It wasn't something that was so outlandish that we can't wrap our heads around it. It's not like, let's go out to space and fight this alien race and whatever. That's been done to death.
Right.
It was a more human story.
Definitely.
With, like I said, a tough topic. I thought the book was great. I thought it really just accomplished everything. For a book I had no hope of, mostly because of this guy.
Totally Awesome Hulk.
Totally Awesome Hulk.
Which he did a great job. There's still things I don't like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The freaking flying hot dog truck, can't deal with it right now.
Flying hot dog.
Yeah.
What's it say? Meat wagon or
Meat
something?
wagon, I don't know. It's stupid. But the other thing that, again, very personal book from beginning to end. So much so to a point where when you read it, they will go so far as to talk about like police brutality and what's been going on in current events right now and how they have to be better than even the cops who are using too much force against people on the streets. So that's how deep it gets in this book. Even though it's like real quick, it's not like the entire book is about that, but it's so personal. It feels like the champions are literally here. Like they're here. They're somewhere in the world right now doing stuff. That's what it feels like.
My favorite part, and I don't want to give too much detail into the book, my favorite part is probably Miss Marvel leaving the Avengers and her reasons why. And she's trying to explain her feelings to the older Avengers. And they just don't agree. And she's like, I just can't do this. Yeah. It has to do a lot with what happens after the fight. Mm-hmm. And it was a pretty good take on that. And she's just a great character.
She is.
So let's go into the second half of this. Shuster, you can probably chime in a little better on the second half of this. What characters have they nailed perfectly post Secret Wars?
Secret Wars, not Civil War.
Not Civil War.
Secret Wars, which
where
was
all
stupid.
the new number ones came out. Yeah, I didn't like it. But they shook up all the characters in some way. Some more than others. Now, characters I feel that work. I think Miss Marvel's one of the best characters that Marvel's created in the past couple years.
Yes.
She has her own identity. The old Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers, kind of getting, I call it a promotion, I don't know, becoming Captain Marvel was a good turn for her. Her becoming the leader of Alpha Flight, Space Canada, as I call it.
Ultimates.
Mm-hmm. It's great. Yeah, Ultimates, she's part of that.
Yeah,
And Miss Marvel having her own identity is really great.
Well, that's what I've always been saying. That's why, if you go back to our
The one where they hate you.
beloved discussion about Mary Jane Zendaya, which is still a rumor these days. But that's what I want. I want to see new characters created of different cultures and different races. I don't want to see the swapping. I want to see new characters that are interesting. And Miss Marvel's great. I actually really, really, really like her. And it'd probably be smart for them to do some kind of like Phase 4 with her in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I would like that.
Yeah,
Phase 4, of course, because the post Avengers Thanos stuff. I think she'd be perfect for that. But more of that is what we need. And like Luke Cage was fantastic, the show, and I've always liked that character. So we just need more of that style diversity in comics.
Yeah.
Cue the hate from the comment section.
Wait, just be nice. Just leave a comment saying,
that guy in the red. I got a bone to pick with you.
They're probably going to say, why did he, every time he talked about a diversity character, why did he look at Leander? That's fine.
He's just polite, people. He makes eye contact with people. It's fine.
I think because I can't do it here because this is too much work.
I'm behind him. It's true.
This is too much work.
It's a lot of work.
But
I'm too much work. I see how it is.
I was gonna say some things, but
Don't.
we're gonna
No.
okay. But
No, if I
we
make,
like
this is
our
an explicit video. You can't. It's not worth it. Don't even do it.
Why is there a female Vision?
Because you get to read the visions. And
there's a whole family of visions.
I can't talk to you
There's
about
a family of
There's a
Visions?
family of
He's
visions.
created a family of robots.
Yeah. So that segues into, I think, the number one best book in the Marvel Universe is The Visions. And there's no need to even talk about it.
I don't, and see, I haven't even read all of it, and I agree with it. It's a great book. Tom King's great. My fear now, saying that, Tom King's gone. They want to annihilate his vision of the Vision. That was unfortunate. Of the Vision.
Right.
But I could see that happening. Where,
well, they can't now. I mean, Viv's on Champions.
Yeah, he gave him Viv, but they can just make her completely different as it goes on.
Tiara.
Yeah, it's a headlamp tiara thing.
Okay.
So I don't want to see her be one of those characters that's pretty good, and then they kind of screw with her.
I don't think they will. They did it. I think they did it right. I can tell.
I think they're going to do it with the Vision actually more than her.
Yeah, right. They're going to screw Vision over.
I could see that.
But I think whatever that he does in the Visions to end the Visions. So there's things that are happening in this book that I realize, like, okay, you're already telling me stuff, but I already knew that was going to happen
heading
anyways.
in that direction.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that Viv will be a pretty good character. Mm-hmm. My prediction for that, by the way, is that Totally Awesome Hulk and the Vision are going to get together, the female Vision. So just like we have Scarlet Witch in the Vision, now we have the Hulk and Vision getting together.
Why not?
Yeah, the female Vision. So yeah, anyways, the Visions, to me, hands down, number one book after Secret Wars.
Very good.
Yeah.
I have a very disappointed character post.
Sure.
No, there's plenty of those.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I haven't fully read it because I'm horrible and I don't keep up on my comics.
Guy in the red horrible. Hashtag.
Doctor Strange. Huge Doctor Strange fan. And they just... I don't know what they did to the character.
I thought it was good in the beginning.
A lot of people liked it out of the gate, but it's kind of has a different
They change...
tone.
I don't want to spoil anything, but they change things in his mythology that make no sense. And they do a storyline that I get annoyed with, which this isn't really spoiled, but it's a kind of like a character loses abilities and has to fight through adversity without power. I don't like those because I don't read the comics to find out that Spider-Man lost his powers and has to figure out how to be a better person. And then, oh my god, he's got his powers again and can fight the villain.
Right.
The story starts feeling like that. And the villain is really cliche in a way. And like I said, they do something with his mythology that I think makes no sense, and I think it hurts the character. And so I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, I love Doctor Strange. I have all the 1968 runs. I'm collecting them. I love them, but I wanted it to be good. I'm still gonna buy it because I do want to find out what happens.
Right.
But I didn't like how they went with the character, and especially with the movie coming out, I'm not entirely sure I can recommend that as the first place to start with Strange.
Yeah, that's probably true. If you like Doctor Strange, or if you want to get into Doctor Strange, Marvel's releasing a lot of new versions of old books, old trades. I would say start there.
Honestly, by the Oath.
The Oath is great. By
Straight
Brian
up,
K. Vaughan.
by the Oath, it has a partial origin in it. So if you don't know much about Doctor Strange, you can have a partial origin. Has a very smart and good villain. Great story. It's fantastic. Buy that trade if you want to start Doctor Strange. But this new series, I'm not entirely sure I can recommend just yet.
Okay.
So that's a disappoint. I don't hate it. I'm just disappointed to see that out of the gate as the first Doctor Strange book in a very long time. So
I have a couple characters I would bring up. The female Thor, I thought was really strong when they introduced her right before Secret Wars. I don't think she's bad now, but I think she's a little stagnant. But even more important, the Odin son, the male version of Thor. He has a miniseries coming out, The Unworthy Thor.
that sounds more interesting.
I'm super interested in that, and it's really kind of wrong that since Original Sin, which is 2 events ago,
Right.
we still don't
Yeah.
know
No
what
idea.
was said to make him unworthy and not able to hold the
That's
hammer.
a little ridiculous.
And he's been in the books, but he's not all over the books, so it's like almost like they wanted you to forget about him a little bit to focus on, and that's fine in a way, but like it's been a long time. You're not going to give us anything as to why he can't hold the hammer.
And Secret Wars being the thing that causes massive ripple effect in the Marvel Universe with Thor. Like, it was so random. Like, that was what caused it. So,
Do you think that they had an idea of what he said when they wrote it, or do you think they did?
It was open-ended, maybe?
It was open-ended, and they were just like, well, we're going to do this because it sounds cool, and they just kind of wrote themselves into a hole. I don't think they would have done something so crazy out there
So, I don't...
without having an answer.
Yeah, I don't think so, because Jason Aaron wrote Original Sin, and he's the writer on Thor since.
Okay.
So I don't know what he's winding up for there.
That's what...
Or how much... and you never know how much a writer's hands are tied as far as these things.
That's true.
I'm sure events always hurt books. I know Axis, a lot of writers complained that, hey, like that Magneto book that was going at the time was so
Magneto was
strong.
so good.
So
and then Axis
good.
happened, all the tie-in issues, and it was really hard to get through. And a lot of people dropped that book. A book I like...
I really like that book. Magneto, up until then was absolutely fantastic. A plus.
Axis, yeah.
A book I really enjoyed, no one's surprised, Moon Knight, but I wouldn't say start with this. There's other ways to get into the character, but this series is really good. The reason I like it isn't so much the writing, although the writing's great, even though you don't know what the heck's going on. He's super crazy in this rendition, but the art is what I like. Every time he goes into a different personality, the art changes drastically, usually, and it's really cool. I think it's really well done, and I would recommend that.
I would say that every X-Men needs to die now. Just
Don't worry, you're getting your wish.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, they
though.
need to hurry up and just do it. You're actually wasting my time making me read
I'm super
X-Men
annoyed
right now.
by that,
It's just
though.
wasting
I
my
think
time.
it's dumb. I think it's a bad decision ultimately, but if you're gonna do it, just do it. I agree.
Just do it. Just not.
You have been dragging out the death of the X-Men for years now. You haven't put a lot of stock in the X-Men for a long time.
Right.
And so many of my friends enjoy the X-Men, love the X-Men, grew up on them, watched the cartoon, played the video games, and they are just sad and depressed, and they buy the issues. They hate them. They read them, they hate them, and they come back and buy them the next month.
Yeah. Right.
X-Men fans, you're not helping your case, but
Yeah.
at the same time,
Yeah.
I would buy a bad book if I was invested
This is
in it.
because of Fox, right? This is
Yeah,
because of
mainly.
that whole.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no other reason to
X-Men
tank
was going
such
strong.
a huge
Yeah,
portion
huge.
of your, just a huge book.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was their franchise for a minute there.
Well, I mean, depending
Fantastic Four too.
Our Marvel movies would be so great if they got Fantastic Four.
on. I've been hoping they got the Fantastic Four because I just want to see a perfect Doctor Doom on
Yeah.
screen,
Yeah. Right.
hands down. But with Apocalypse being rather, meh, maybe we can hope to have something come up with X-Men? I don't think so, because X-Men is still a cash cow
Yeah.
for Fox, and they're not going to just be like, well, we had one mediocre film out of what, like 8?
I'd rather have the Fantastic Four back because you
True.
get more of your space properties back. If you had it back before the end of the whole Avengers arc,
Right.
it would be amazing.
Sure.
It would be to have some of those alien races brought in that you just don't have right now.
It's still unfair to the
Scrolls.
It's unfair to readers to have to deal with that. Like, we should not have to deal with that at all.
In a perfect world.
That's not the world we live in.
Yeah.
So, X-Men need to die. I don't even know why. Cyclops on Champions? Stupid. Just kill him now. Like, why is he on Champions? He's not going to look that.
Apparently, you're going to love him, is
Yeah,
what everyone else is
well,
saying. We will see.
Why do I need to love him? He needs to die.
I don't know.
So, anyway.
There's like 7 Cyclops now, anyway.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
worry
true.
about it.
That's true.
It's very convoluted.
Yeah.
I don't know. Daredevil?
It's been pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been pretty
It's
good.
not. It has not in any way piqued my interest. I don't
No.
want to read it.
I like Daredevil.
Yeah.
I think it's been okay, but I think that book has been stronger in the recent past. It's Wade. Wade was really good as a writer. Charles Soule is really good too, but I think he's better in other genres.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not bad.
I will say that the one book I've been reading is A-Force, and A-Force is actually pretty good.
Okay.
I've actually really enjoyed it so far.
How does it rank against Champions as far as a team?
Oh,
team
no,
book?
not even close.
Not even close?
No. And it's a great
Sure.
book still, but I would say compared to Champions, A-Force is probably like at a 6.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. 5.5, 6.
Yeah.
So, which is unfortunate, but Champions really brought up the level for more of you.
I think a lot of people wanted to read Amazing Spider-Man, and I think a lot of people are turned off. But I think it's been very creative, the whole Prowler stuff they've been doing. I think it's super creative, but I think a lot of people are burned out on point issues. Can we stop with the 1.1, 1.2, 1.3s, 1.4s? Can we stop that?
I'm super sick and tired of the number 1.
Giant-sized issues so we can make the book $5.99,
This
$4.99?
right here annoys me a lot. The giant red and white number 1 with the
Which means
ridiculously
nothing.
sized, now.
It really does mean nothing.
Just
Yeah.
stop.
It's a
with
jumping
this.
on point. We understand that.
We get it, but
But-
stop.
Yeah.
Can you also end your event first, please, before you do the
This
number
does
1?
take place
I can't
after
deal with
Civil
you.
War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't deal with you.
Yet again, I don't want to see an event for a while. I want to be eventless.
It's going to be a new event soon. It's going to be
I'm sure.
it's X-Men versus Inhumans. It's coming already.
Yeah, IVX.
I'm done. I can't. I tried to come back to Marvel.
I just want to read a book
That's it.
that has a concurrent
How dare you. How
storyline
dare you try to read a book?
that doesn't have like little dips in it because of global events that they decide to
And the
throw
thing
brand
is,
new ones
There
out.
used to be a time when global events were cool. Like,
They were less frequent back then.
yes.
Yeah.
My favorite crossover title was Onslaught. Like,
Sure.
I thought
that was
Onslaught
so
was
good.
like, I could just
So,
let me live in that era.
Here's
and
why
never
I'm
leave.
cool with Onslaught.
Yeah.
Because I'm not an X-Men guy. I don't... It never did anything for me, okay? They're fine. Never, not for me. The reason Onslaught works for me is because it didn't affect every other title. If I was reading Daredevil at the time, it didn't matter what Onslaught was doing. It was in a separate part of the universe. Maybe it affected it a little bit, but it's like most of these events, you didn't have to read the event to understand what was going on, and that's kind of my issue with the events now. If you're not reading the event, you're not understanding half your books.
That was my first event, I think.
Yeah.
That was when I
Onslaught?
started
it.
reading comics because I remember I was getting the mail order ones, the mail order subscriptions
day.
of Fantastic Four and like Iron Man, and I have all the hero. I used to have. I don't know. It's probably at my dad's house, but I have the Heroes Reborn,
I
number
love
ones of
Heroes
Iron
Reborn
Man.
was great.
It was awesome.
It was
As a kid, it was
fantastic.
great. I loved it, even though that was the 90s, which everybody hates.
Well, hey,
But that's what got me into comics.
it's what Secret
I
War
loved
should have been.
it.
Yeah.
But I'm getting sick and tired of all these events now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good bad thing. Like Civil War 2, I think is really good so far. I've been enjoying it.
I've heard,
absolutely wasn't gonna read it at all, but I just kept hearing all the things that were happening. I'm like, well, let me just check it out, and it was actually pretty good.
My thing is, okay, if you can kill the Fantastic Four off, and I know they didn't kill them, but basically end Fantastic Four from Secret Wars, right? That's when they went away.
That's where it mostly.
Why didn't they just get rid of X-Men at the same time? Like, just get it out of
They
here.
literally just build a new world. Why didn't they just build a new world?
Just build that
Honestly,
X-Men.
without the
Yeah,
X-Men?
they had a chance. They had a chance.
Honestly, because they can sell number ones. That's the reason. Number one Uncanny X-Men.
No
Everyone's
one's happy
gonna
about
come by
your,
it.
no one's happy with your answer.
It's the truth. I'm
It's-
sorry.
It's
The
that
business
whole
answer-
money drives it. Yeah,
I'm
man.
sorry. Disney doesn't have billions of dollars because they don't know what they're doing.
Wow.
End of the day.
Yeah.
I have to press it everybody at the end of the video. I'm sorry.
Oh
Thanks a
man.
lot.
Reality.
Just,
I'm sorry.
just yeah.
All right, well, thank you for listening. And you can find us at capesandScowlspodcast.com. If you head there now, you can hear our 2-part audio interview with Kyle Starks. He is the writer of Rick and Morty for Oni Press, and he's also the writer-artist for Sex Castle, and many other things, but Sex Castle's pretty sweet. So, thank you.